Hey everybody, welcome to the Growing with Fishes podcast. We have a very special episode this week. We've trying to get him on for a long time. We have the dude from the Dude Grows Show.
I mean, don't make it special just for me. I mean, it's a special episode because, we're going with fishies, man, hanging out.
Yeah,
So, glad to be on.
We'll have to switch it to this episode number 7, the lost episode, because we actually skipped that one because I was stoned and numbered them wrong. So maybe we'll change the number on this one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. We'd actually have
back through to upload them to my channel when I still did that before I decided to say fuck YouTube. But I was going through. I thought I missed one. I went through like 5 times. I'm over here all stoned out of my mind trying to upload videos. I'm like, what the hell, Steve?
Yeah, sorry to everybody. Sorry about the different channel. Where I'm currently fighting a random strike on my YouTube channel.
Hey, you can't be sorry about what you can't control at all, man. It's this crazy algorithm. It doesn't make any sense. We currently have a strike. We can't upload. I'm assuming we're gone any day. So you just got to, it's not whatever. There's plenty of platforms. We'll all be good.
Yeah.
So you have all your notes backed up like Steve did the last couple of weeks. So you can't lose them even if they take your channel down at YouTube, right?
Yeah, well, I was a little butthurt when I went into the studio the other day, and Guru's like, we are removing all of the grow videos you've ever done, because that's all we're getting strikes on. We're not getting any strikes on our show, just the videos discussing grow. And I was like, damn, man, that's been since like 2009. But they're all backed up. It's all good, man. We'll all find other homes and good places to hang and not too worried about it. Technological hiccup.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got all of our stuff backed up on multiple places now, so we will live on regardless.
Right on.
I'm sure you guys do too. You guys have dudegrows.com there to host all of your stuff no matter what happens. So
yeah, do you upload all our stuff too? Do you have a channel over there too?
Yeah,
on the
show? Try to repost it on the TGC/Aquaponics as well.
Hell yeah.
I need to update it. It's been a little while, but most of the episodes, at least the first 50 or so, are over there now. So
I would complain, but you've done all the work so far, so I'm good at that.
We actually, just got accepted to DTube, which is one of the other bigger platforms. So that was pretty neat. We were also featured on weedtv.com's main page this week as well, which was pretty cool. So
hell yeah.
So anyways, we have Marty.
Oh yeah, hi.
His mid bong hit. Hold on.
Yeah, no, I figured he wanted to try and think of, so I wait until he took a rep to. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't even worry about it anymore. Like, I figure they're gonna flag it. They're probably gonna flag it because I said fuck YouTube like 5 minutes ago.
Right.
I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, at this point it's just kind of like whatever. Temporarily we're on here, and then
like we used to think that they would flag it because we were smoking on the air or vaping or whatever it is that people are doing, but that not at all, even in the slightest. Even when we stopped doing that and turned off our cameras and all that, like, nope, I still get flagged. So
it's a machine, not a person.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't care. I just assume I'm gonna get flagged at this point. So
yeah,
I'm gonna do whatever. Anyway, hi.
Hi, Marty.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys do? You run a show called, for those of you that don't know, although if you listen to our show, I don't know how that's possible. The Dude Grows Show, that was actually the inspiration for our show, was basically we would love to hear how you guys kind of had like a laid back, fun attitude and we're dropping knowledge at the same time. So we wanted to do that for aquaponics and then now more for sustainable. We kind of moved away from just aquaponics and more into just sustainable growing all around, soil and aquaponics and organic hydro and just long-term sustainable solutions. So why don't you tell us a bit about your show and then what it's been like? Yep.
So many different things.
I mean, I started coming up with the show basically was just the instance of literally back in the day, there was a lot of phone calls. Scotty lived in Prohibition land down south. I moved out to Colorado and said, hey, it's time to start growing. And we had so many coded calls back and forth, just, hey, this is working for me. What are you doing? What's going on? And then finally, when he got out west and Prohibition fell in 2012 with Amendment 64, I was like, dude, and I think he mentioned, you know, people want to hear this information, and it was nice to be able to feel. It was weird at first, of course, like shit, we're talking about our grow rooms in our garage, literally to the world. But I knew, as somebody that worked retail for a while, that this information is highly sought after. Old forums like Overgrow that was up for quite a bit of time. Eventually, that went away, right?
Yep.
And the whether it's functional or dysfunctional relationship between me and Scotty, it's not really just. I don't want to say as characters, because we're not changing our personalities to do the show by any means. Really, just makes, like you said, apparently entertaining, and it's good to drop the knowledge in there at the entertainment, so it's not like you're, you know, feeling like you're in class, or it's something like, you know, some podcasts I listen to are great, straight knowledge. Don't get me wrong. I learned a lot. But the mix and the, man, I guess the chemistry has been really nice. So.
Awesome. So you guys are on what, episode 630?
Almost 630, I believe. I think 629 was going out. Yeah, almost 630.
Yeah, it's funny. I wanted to tell you this funny story because I don't think I've had a chance to tell you, and I think everyone will get a kind of a kick at it. So I actually got a chance to go down and visit you guys. I think it was episode 42 or 44. It was one of the really early ones when you guys were out of a large grow tent in down at what was it? I Grow.
Way to Grow. We were in a 12 by 12 gorilla grow tent for a while. Shittiest thing about that studio space, and actually the only bad thing was we weren't allowed to smoke in there. You know, it was just a violation. And we're like, man, this will work for so long. Like, you got to be able to smoke in the studio. Like, we had to go out in the parking lot, go out in the car. I mean, other than that, it was cool to have a grow tent. It was cool to be part of somewhere where you're going to hear buzz from the industry in a shop and whatnot. But yeah, that was our first official studio, I guess you would say.
So I went
42. You said in the 40s?
Yeah, it was like 42 or 44.
Damn,
something like that.
It was a while ago. We were doing one show a week for a while, like a 3-hour show, and then Scotty wanted to tune it up. When the first news, he's like, "All right, dude, we got to start doing a show 5 days a week." I just about walked out of the room, just because of. But the reason it's all happening and it's working great is because of the crew. Did you see the people that help us? Having a professional person on board, such as Guru. Actually, I mean, Steve, it used to be we'd cut the show and work, and then Scotty'd be the guy putting it up and stuff. And I would be so paranoid, man. I'd be like, what about that edit? What about this part? And I'd just be like, one day, which he'd just fuck with me. He'd be like, dude, we didn't record any of that. And I would just get like, I was going to lose it. It only happened once, I think, but he fucked with me like at once every 2 weeks after the fact. I'd be like, that actually didn't work. File's gone. I'd be like, oh my God. But anyway, it's been really good times for sure to work up to the episode amount. And now not just trying to have grow talk, but culture and something for everybody included, whether you just like to smoke, enjoy cannabis, grow, or just curious about what's going on with this, you know, big ass industry.
That's real important too, that you diversify. In fact, you know, the same thing happened with this show. Steve and Marty started out as an aquaponics show, and now it's a full-blown grow knowledge show, along with a bunch of crazy stoners that, you know, have a lot of fun. You know, but yeah,
we talked about it a couple of times now, where like I think we did like 6 or 7 episodes, and we realized there was really nobody else doing aquaponic cannabis, so we sort of had to expand on our guest list if we were, you know, like, or expand on our content if we wanted to have a guest list. Like, we'd exhausted our content very.
I mean, we're already in a niche, right? So you're in the niche of a niche with aquaponics for sure. It's super cool. Don't get me wrong by any means, and don't give up pushing that. And it's not always about. I know people like to see numbers on their, you know, whatever channel they're on, their YouTube subscribers or downloads on iTunes or whatever, but it's more about the quality of content than full on just stats on your listenership.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Steve's done a great job of getting just a ton of quality guests that ended up, you know, like being either about aquaponics or growing cannabis. Like, if we've had, like I mentioned earlier, we've done like so many different things, from lighting to, we had somebody about packaging, you know, like we've had people from, we had a tour of like a very thorough tour of a glass shop. If you guys remember, what was the name of that place?
Mountainside Glass.
Mountainside, yeah.
Mountainside Glass.
Oh, sweet, man.
It's just like
Yeah.
crazy. And like, obviously, we didn't even know that any of that was going to happen. So it was just sort of like, yeah, show us around. And then the dude just goes off and doesn't want to stop talking because it's just that, it's the stuff that they love to do. So a lot of times, or like Jeff Lowenfels was awesome. Like he just talked and talked and talked. And it was a great like exchange of ideas too. Like he
I think his was like
really wanted to like ask us about aquaponics as opposed to just talk about their stuff, which was really cool because a lot of times, they don't, which is fine. Obviously, the guy who's selling cannabis packaging probably doesn't care that much about aquaponics. That's totally cool, but it was still great to have him as a guest and learn some stuff, and it was fun.
In defense of Jeremy, he actually has an aquaponic garden.
Well, that I understand that, but we didn't really talk about it because he was there to talk about packaging, right? Like that, which was cool and it was fine. But Jeff was really cool because he wanted that exchange of information, and so it's just been such a wide variety of guests that have been really fun.
So, who have been some of the more memorable guests that you've had on your show that you've either learned a lot from, or had a cool experience with, or had a kind of a neat story or explanation on? You guys have had some really cool people on.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot. I mean, in the earlier episodes, not too early, I don't even recall the number. Like, I remember when we had Kyle Cushman on, I was like, man, this is a pretty big name, this is cool. And we literally did that interview, I think, in Scott's master bedroom, both running off the same computer in some weird way. Like, I don't know what the fall through was, but there's a lot. I don't want to mention. So, I mean, even just recently, I was okay, cool. Duke Diamond was on. He's a really cool cat. But there's been so many that, man, I'm just trying to roll through my head here of some of the most inspirational ones or cool cats, man. And I just go to recent ones because it's not that, well, I guess I will say sometimes when we have these guests or the Cannabis Cup and whatnot, I test the theory that the cannabis is affecting my memory at the time to remember back. We just had actually another podcaster keeping the podcast network strong over there from not Grow From Your Heart, which is another great podcast, but the Real Dirt podcast. So he was just on. We haven't released it yet. And let me ponder for a minute, though. I'll come up with a few more guests that I've really enjoyed. And now that we have the people with the ability to come in studio, that's when it's the most special, I say, when you get to interview people, see their facial expressions, not talk over each other on Skype call. Although that's not always horrible by any means, but it's great to be able to do things in person as much as possible as well.
Awesome. Have you ended up visiting any cool places in particular that maybe that's a better question along this kinds of lines, because you guys have got a chance to go and film on location at a bunch of cool places.
Well, definitely our Portland trip was really cool. Heroes of the Farm out there in Portland. That was a great tour to be able to see. It's here now. It hooked up, some sites. Shout out to Odie Diesel out there that hooked up that tour. Being able to go here in Denver is just kind of, it's being spoiled a little bit. We have Moby Dill at Herbal Cure Commercial Grow Facility. We're welcome to schedule. I say schedule, not show up at any time, because that shit is just on point with work. You can't just show up and hang. Like the commercial grow facilities they're a churning machine. So we're glad to be welcome there anytime, as long as we schedule it in and get to hang. Man, we went to, where else? Pure Pressure, which is a pressing place out here for the rosin press. Man, all over. Steve, what's the aquaponics place? This doesn't even have to do with cannabis out here. There's a big aquaponics grow right off the interstate. Oh, the Grow House, HAUS,
yeah,
in Denver. I took my kid there actually and volunteered there for a minute, and that's a cool place to see out here if you're a grower outside of the cannabis scene. But they have a big aquaponics facility there. And
they got a bunch of cool stuff. They got mushrooms and hydro and aquaponics and soil. Like, so you can kind of see a bunch of different kinds of things all at once in the same area.
Yep.
So
some outdoors. Go ahead.
Bad word.
What was the bad word?
What?
Oh, he's muted. He's
muted. Soil.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on and off.
No, you made it.
Bring it.
It's not to say this one word tonight.
Oh no, it's all good. I did. It's all good. No, it was because there's people getting flags for talking about us growing a certain type of thing, and
you said it didn't even matter if it was that kind of. It didn't. No.
There's a guy. Yeah, there's some bigger YouTube channels that are fine that have been taken down recently for that in particular. So. Kind of sucks, but if you're wondering what we're talking about, it's in Brain Grow's picture there.
And Brain Grow's going to have to change his logo.
Can we say fungi? Myco? I don't know.
Yeah, fungi. Yeah,
fungi.
Anyways, people are getting their channels taken down for that.
What about, isn't there a cat, Myco Willie or something?
Yeah,
Myco, man.
Yeah, is his channel still kicking?
Nope, he got shut down.
Okay. I didn't know. That was very informative shit, man.
Yep. Yeah.
There's a lot of different.
That's one of the main guys that I've been learning from. But on the shroomery.org forums, he has a ton of haters.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, go ahead, Steve.
We should probably switch topics, but yeah. So just as a warning, that's something that's getting a lot of people's channels fucked with. So. We already have. Oh, I have one strike, and I know.
If they're gonna keep fucking with us and our freedom of speech, let's take our stuff elsewhere. You can't not have your show. You can't not say what you want. And you're the host. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But I was sensitive about it at first, and then it just got to the point where, what am I gonna? I was literally worrying about what I was gonna say, recording Wake and Bake America, and that's not cool. So.
No, I feel you.
Yeah, I think, like doing what Steve's doing, finding a new spot is really what needs to happen. Like, they're just a tool. And if they're going to act like a tool also, we'll just get another tool. Like, that's all it is. It's a delivery mechanism. That's it. So if they're going to start being bitches, then.
I think we need to take
earlier is you just get your own websites. Like I've got livecannabis.chat.tv. We could all just load that server up with all your shows, and you can record. You can send them out from that, or you can make your own.
The biggest thing we're looking for is a new way to host the live stream. That's for a video hosting. I got 10 places that are great. It's just the live stream.
Right.
And I want to fork over $900 or whatever it is for Vimeo for a year when I don't know if Vimeo is going to change what I'm worried about is switching to Vimeo and then finding out that Vimeo immediately changes their policy and then I'm out $900 or $800 or whatever the fuck it is.
Well, what I'm trying to build one where it'll be like those channels, but it won't be those channels. It'll be our channel. It won't change. Once it's set up, it'll be that way. It'll be upgraded and updated, and it'll be something for us, not something that we have to adapt to or worry about if they're going to change stuff. That's what I'm trying to build, that I've been talking about for the last year. Takes a while. But I've got the websites and I've worked a lot with the different, I've gone through every kind of software you can think of, and I've got myself pretty much set on what I want to do, but we have to just see if it works once we get it set up. And that's the big thing. We're getting with the spring being spring now, we're not really having a lot of time to try to do coding, and especially me being legally blind, it's a bitch to code. But I found out the only way I could do this was to start coding again. It just takes me a long time. But today I was building a fence, so you can't code when you're out in the front building a fence. So, but I still think that's the way to go. You just you can literally buy, like you've got all your episodes, Steve. You can just buy a website and then buy a video recorder and just load all your shows to the server with FTP machine, and then bam, your audio machine. You click on the thing and it'll just play. It's that simple. You don't have to go through. But streaming,
that's just the live stream is what we're looking.
I'm working on that.
We'll have a new home. We'll have a new home soon.
I guarantee, guys, we'll have it figured out, man. That's the good thing of the community here. Keeping in mind as we're working on it too, is that it will be figured out. With things we know, we got like Joshua Rutherford. There's just a lot of people that need it. What the growers roundtable? Where are they doing theirs now?
They all switched to Vimeo. A lot of people are switching to Vimeo. It's just it's a matter of it's expensive
It's a matter
up front.
of fuck YouTube.
And see, I'm trying to make my own video kind of thing. I'm trying to make my own network for all of us.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. It's just taking a long time because I don't have a shitload of money. That's another thing. So like none of us do really, but that's the biggest part of it. You know,
forget about coding legally blind. I caught that. You said coding legally blind does not sound like, super enjoyable for you, man.
well, it's called, you get like 6 times magnifying glasses and you get a 49-inch TV. And you look at the HDMI, like I'm sitting here.
You're like in font 24.
Yeah, exactly. I'm 24. Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, and then
Roger, I also VR goggles.
I have a text speaker also that I can copy and paste into this thing, and it reads it to me. You know, it reads it to me. So that works. But that's even a pain in the ass sometimes. I mean, you know, when my brain goes at light speeds, you know, when I'm working, and then I have to stop and go, let me copy and paste and open up this and listen to this, and you know, but it works. I've made it where I can work again online, and I got motivated because I got several websites that were doing really well, and I've got this network built up that was all meant to be telephony and live communication, you know, and live support, online real-time video support, and being able to exchange files and information and images and do live streaming. That's what I've been trying to do for the last 2 years. And I got real close last year, and right when we were there, our hosting company got hacked from somebody in Indonesia and shut me down for 4 to 6 months. I lost my entire tech team, and it took me 3 or 4 months to just get most of my websites back up. And
can you just not sleep for the rest of May, because we all need this now? All right, so just get your team a turbo here
now. But we're working on it, and it's great because it kind of fits in the show. It's not even off topic because, you know, having a live streaming podcast and all that, you know, it's what we are, what you are. You know, this is something that we're all looking for. So all you people out there, if one of you guys out there listening is a guru on this stuff, well, you just contact me at Latewood at ilovegrowingmarijuana.com, and I'll be glad to talk to you about helping set up this network. If you want to contribute to the cause,
to make it work, really. Like, obviously, you know, you need a certain amount of bandwidth to be able to do live streaming.
Oh yeah.
Like, and especially like, you know, across the country, you'll probably need access to multiple networks, you know, so like in like hosting something at like a data center or something like that can be pretty expensive, you know, so you'd have to spread that cost across multiple people, because obviously we're not all going to be live streaming at the same time. But yeah, as somebody who rents space at a data center now to host a private cloud, I can tell you, you know, it's not as cheap as I think most people want it to be, I guess. Like, so they're so used to going to YouTube and being like, oh, here, it's free, just use it as much as you want to, you know, that you know, a lot of people don't understand the costs involved. So like, I do think that it definitely can be done. Like I said, I have a whole bank of servers at a data center right now.
Right.
But the reality is that most people are going to pay more money to pay for that access at the data center than people are to live stream growing shows. So that's sort of the long and the short of it, I guess.
All right, I'm going to talk to Steve and say, let's take it out of the tech side.
Yes, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. So what do you got growing on? What do you got growing on? You and Roger were jamming out a little bit on what you guys were growing on. You want to tell people what strains you're growing right now? And
since he said with Roger was associated, what's up with you and ilovegrowingmarijuana.com, Roger?
What's up with me?
Yeah. You said, you got the email there. You're at, what's your email again? You're at ilovegrowingmarijuana.com. I've ordered seeds off there.
Latewood. I'm the administrator there. I hired and trained all the moderating crew, and they're a great bunch of guys that were knowledgeable growers to begin with. And we got, I would think, the friendliest forum on the whole internet, because we just, from day one, when I was hired 4 years ago, I set a standard that we wouldn't tolerate any kind of rude behavior and cussing people out and stuff like that, because it's a grow environment, a learning environment. And we've dealt with it as a learning environment, and we were backed up with these excellent genetics from Amsterdam that are just, oh wow! I mean, you don't have to tell. It's not like I have to say it. Just go and read anything on the forum, and everybody says, "Oh my God!" Every seed pops. You know, I mean, everybody's going. You know, there's no such thing as 100% germination. We know that, but everybody says, "Yeah, I get 100% germination." Well, if they're saying that, they're pretty damn close and really happy. And so we've got a real diverse line, and we got a lot of the old school strains.
That's why I went your diverse line, because I wanted to grow a haze. So I got a pineapple haze. I believe it's the pineapple haze, and from you guys, and I just popped them. It's ironically I'm on the show right now because there's 3 sitting right over here kicking, and they definitely I was talking to you about, man, I've never grown anything that potentially, you know, I said there's factors here, will flower for 3 months. I'm hoping that you were talking about, well, depends on your container size, you know, longer flowering sativas, there's different aspects that can, you know, push them into flowering, being root bound or whatever, a little bit harder. But I had, for the first time in my growing career, I transplanted over here in these radical bags a 4-inch, just a little 4-inch start right into a 7-gal, because I wanted, and I'm a veg them a little bit, but I wanted the plant to still have a grip, a root zone to work with as it's going through flowering. Because I'm picturing, okay, I'm thinking the first 2 weeks on a regular shorter indica, that's like, oh, the plant's still in growth. But for this, I'm thinking like the first month of flowering, it's still going to be doing a lot of transitioning before I see if the flowering time's right. But I'm stoked for haze. If you have any other haze recommendations, we don't get that out here as much in Colorado. A lot of stuff is grown, at least where I've been searching, dispensary wise, which I don't really shop at. They're usually on a schedule, man. I've heard of some haze will flower all like 4 months, 5 months. And that the high on it is just shout out to Bear Grown, DGC Cat. The high on it is just like insane, because I think it's our endocannabinoid system isn't used to that. We're not used to that type. We don't get it as much. Not many growers. That's a dedication.
Yeah, you can show it the other way. You lengthen the grow period by the length of your photo period. Also, you can shorten a sativa by growing it. Once you have it vegged at 14, you can veg it at 14-10, and then turn it like in the second week when you start veg, or like start it off, you know, and the whole time it grows, you grow around 12-12. 14-10 to 12-12, and never have an 18-6, and that will allow you to finish a sativa in 4 months from start to finish, instead of 5 or 6 like you're talking about. But if you want the big monster plant indoors, that's a problem with a lot of people. So that's why we've taught this for several years about the forced flowering with the smaller pots and the shorter.
Not only want the bigger plant, but I feel if you're forcing something one way or another to shorten its flower period that it wants to do, you're going to lose some attributes of what that strain should have brought out, just because it needs that long of flowering period. It's used to growing equatorially, probably. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah.
It makes sense, but a lot of times we trick the plants. But I got all from UK growers, and they're nuts over sativas, and they've worked every different way they could do it. And we're talking about some master growers over there. But I still, no, I'm with you. If I had the time and the space and the height, I would like to grow it. I like to veg for 2 months and then flower for 3 or 4 months. You know, that's what I'd like to do.
The height, man. I'm worried about that. Like training out a long flowering sativa. I'm trying not to top too much. I'm not going to top it all once I go into flowering, obviously. So it's going to be a little bit of a fun challenge, I think, in an indoor grow situation. Just like really just trellis that thing out all over and do it again and again and again. So
I think your 7-gallon pot is a great idea. The way you did it, I think that'll be great for what you're trying to do. You know, that's going to allow you a longer flowering time. You know, of course, I don't know how long you plan to veg. See, that's a lot. See, to me,
not long until they get a little happy after transplant. I think they should go to flower.
to me, flowering finish time is directly proportional to how long you veg too, especially with a sativa. If you veg for a shorter period of time, it will finish faster than if you veg it for a long period of time. If the longer you veg a sativa or a haze, the longer it's going to take to finish. That's my opinion. That could be arguable with people, but in all the trials that I've done, I've found that the short veg time, again, I've worked at manipulating it to finish faster, but I'm not always trying to do that. I'm just trying to, I've got limited space too. I got very limited space. I got, like a 6x6 space for everything, so that's all I got because I got to keep from getting, in trouble. So, so I have to do my experiments one grow at a time. I can't have several different experiments going on at one time. And I'm 2 years into this, what I've been doing. But you asked about other strains. We've got Steve's favorite, Super Silver Haze. We got Amnesia Haze. And
what about this blue haze? I'm looking at a blue haze right now. This blue haze looks really cool.
Well, I haven't tried that yet. I haven't got to that because I went from the fruity pack. Now I'm in the juicy pack. I did the Agent Orange Bud, and Super Lemon Haze, and I added to that a Blue Dream, a Strawberry Kush, a Maui Wowie, and a Cherry Pie. So that's what I got going right now.
What'd you call it, pack?
The juicy pack.
Nice.
And that's Agent Orange Bud, and Super Lemon Haze, that's pretty cool. I mean, if you like orange bud, I mean, I've always liked that kind of stuff. I'm looking for that ultimate sweet. I'm looking for the one that I love, and that's what I love about our genetics being a lot of older school stuff and not so crazy. I mean, but that's okay. I like the crazy stuff too if I get my hands on it. But what I like about it, it's stable. It does what it says it's going to do. You can see the difference in the genetics. They don't all look the same. You can see a sativa is different than a indica. You can see what, the characteristics of it. You get in the terpenes and the smell, I'm super into germination. Not only that, the company guarantees your seeds, even if you're an idiot and you kill them.
Here, let me give this description. This is awesome. I was reading the description of the blue haze here. And just because whoever's writing this here we go. Blue haze is a strain of marijuana that transforms you into another world. You'll find yourself experiencing a euphoria much like that created by the scenic green fields and cruising a scene of a Michelangelo painting. That is awesome, dude.
So it's mushrooms, basically.
Yes. We've got some creative writers working for the company.
I'm not dissing on it. I'm not dissing on it at all. That's super cool.
That's cool. It's kind of cool. Psychedelic.
Yes. All right, I got to stop reading this or I'm going to start ordering seeds.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's awesome that we hooked up this tonight like that. The bosses are going to be super happy that that you asked me to have a segue of your show, man. I'm going to send them a copy of this tonight.
Yeah. Speaking of
what's up?
Speaking of cool shit, Josh, are you free at the moment? 5.
Oh, I see.
All right, we'll give him 5 more minutes.
And then what happens? We just cut him off.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know I was muted. Sorry.
You got a little bit of an echo there from someone. Okay.
Anyways.
Josh and I have been cooking up something pretty cool, and there's more news about it coming soon. But I don't know if you want to
talk about it. I don't want to rain on the dude's parade, but
what do you mean? What's up?
Well, we're gonna do an event, dude, in San Francisco.
You're a little low for me, Josh, too. Is he low for you guys? Volume?
Yeah,
just
coming out very low.
Sorry, can you hear me better now if I do that?
See if I can.
I think so.
It's a little better.
Sorry, I usually have my headset, but it's MIA.
No worries.
Talk like you have voice modulation syndrome.
I will talk loud.
There we go.
Joint juice on my lip there.
Open your eyes, Josh. Open your eyes. I dare you.
Little stoned. No, so I'm excited, dude. We're gonna do another Science of Regenerative Cannabis conference in San Francisco. It's called the Science of Regenerative Aquaponics Cultivation Conference. not limited just to cannabis, but to all aquaponic cultivators.
That makes you want to go just for the name. What is the name again?
Yeah.
You should add more words. You should add.
I wanted to add a couple more words, honestly, and it's partly to make fun of the fact that we have to keep doing more words: organic, regenerative, aquaponic. You know, it's a ridiculous thing, but it's also important to talk about. You know, like the difference of what people are doing. You know, because when we say the word organic now, it doesn't. It means a lot of things. It can mean you're buying bottles, or it can mean that you're like raising sheep and harvesting the sheep's shit and like composting it and looking at that under a microscope at the right time and then applying it at the right, you know, it's very different things. So the qualifiers on there are meant to poke fun of it at it and also illuminate the differences. But so anyways, the Steve and I have been brewing this up actually since we were in Humboldt, and the idea is I've been doing aquaponics for a long time as well, and there's a lot of lack of information, and you guys I haven't actually spent a whole lot of time in the dual root zone world, so it's kind of a new idea to me, and basically we're putting this together, are bringing the two worlds together, the aqua world and the soil world. And so the conference is going to start out with 3 days with Dr. Elaine Ingham, the goddess of the soil food web, for sure. We had her on here a couple episodes ago. I don't know how many that was. That was when we were in Humboldt. And she'll do.
Yeah, we had her on. I remember she was rushed off though, which kind of sucked.
Yeah,
great.
Well, we'll get her on again sometime.
We were working her so hard, dude. It's, you know, she was putting in 12, 14-hour days, then having to deal with me after that, asking questions. But it's going to be cool. So she'll break down the soil food web and then go into a microscope course in which will help us learn to identify both soil food web and aquatic web microorganisms. And then from there, we can move into IPM and additional biostimulants. You know, this is a more advanced aquaponics course for folks that are usually, you know, probably commercial cultivators, most likely. It's expensive, and it just costs a lot to have all these people here and do all this stuff. You can add a microscope to it if you don't have one, but you definitely need to bring a microscope to the course. It's where we're going to spend a lot of time looking at microscopes, looking through the microscope at microorganisms and quantifying what's going on in both the aquatic and the soil food web. And if those of you that don't know, Dr. Elaine she studied a mosquito. I'm blanking on marine biology. She's a marine biologist by study back in the day, and then she went to the soil food web and spent her career working there. So she's going to have a lot to offer.
So you said you could either bring a microscope, or one is even offered in, like, if you just want to pick one up as part of your ticket.
Yeah, it's like kind of add-on. You can add.
All right. Scotty's going. I know that Scotty's going for sure. Just for that reasoning.
Yeah, no, it's going to be legit. And Elaine's been cool enough to offer also, because she does a thing where she has the soil food web courses. And so it's important for people to know that she kind of has offered to transfer some of those credits, if you will, by taking our courses. Because, you know, like if you take, like the last one we did was a microscope course, and she said, you know, go ahead and count this, call the office and count towards the whole thing. If you're kind of going towards the whole package, which was a worthwhile, you know, endeavor. You have a question, dude?
Oh, I was just gonna say, man, thinking about that, the value of this is also, if you're gonna work in this industry, this is just stuff that helps legitimize your resume, man. It shows you care about what you're doing. You want to expand your knowledge base, and maybe it's not, hey, this, you know, I have a degree in horticulture from this university, but I did go out and spend time with this very reputable, you know, microbiologists and people in this industry. And it's very good stuff, man, that just show on all levels, expanding your grow knowledge and what you want to be doing.
Especially even if you're just a soil grower and you want to come out and learn how to make the best compost tea you've ever seen. That's basically what an aquaponic system is a continuous compost tea generating system, for ultra simplification of it. But
it's gonna be dual root zone too. You're covering.
Yes. Yep. So we're going to have speakers from both the aquaponic world and then the soil world. Do you want to mention anyone else? I know we have a list.
So she's gonna start the whole thing and kind of be the basis of it, and then we'll have Suzanne Wainwright Evans come in. She is a beneficial insect IPM lady, the IPM beneficial insect lady by far. Don't care who you heard from whose brother about what, but she's totally the lady. Steve and I both saw her twice at the last couple conferences, and she's blown us all away. Everyone that was there, and she's put a lot of effort into the cannabis culture, and she's doing it to help us out because there's a lot of misinformation. So we're going to do a whole day with her. And that's really important for commercial aquaponic growers. You can't spray stuff. And the same with cannabis growers. You can't spray stuff in flower. Beneficial insects.
You know what I want to really see in that area with beneficial insects is,
well, and there was a lot of misinformation is what I've kind of come to find out. And she kind of clears that up,
Well, there used to be a little bit of a turn off on the expense for beneficial insects as a smaller grower, or a 2-liter or a 3-liter, and I really want to go this route, but the 2-day or overnight shipping for viability is killing me. But I'm seeing more and more things as Amazon's starting to just continue to go crazy. I was going to get some red wigglers for this garden behind me on Amazon, and some guy was selling I think 40 packs. I'm like, sweet, that's like what I need. I don't need 500. And I'm starting to see things scale down on. There's actually a same example. Ladybugs usually come by the 1,000. There's some cat on Amazon you can buy, I think 150, which is kind of cool for smaller. If that goes into coming into indoor gardens for the smaller hobby grower, where they have that option to put out predator mites. And I know it's not even all about the number. It's a lot of times it's about the shipping and viability.
No, the shipping.
Not only that, it's a straight up safety issue. Let me explain why. Because I've watched this happen to a client, a school teacher that actually overused beneficial insects and didn't apply them in the right way. So this lady had lots and lots of aphids. So she went and she had read a couple of places, because everyone always tells you buy twice as many as you think you need, because if you're in a backyard garden, half of them are going to fly away. But people follow that advice in the indoor garden, and what happens is it ends up going up into the grow lights, and you get so many of them that you can actually catch fire. Especially with some of the poorly made LED lights.
That's insane.
They're attracted to the heat of the heat sinks, and they end up in there, and they pile up, and then they can actually short circuit and catch fire. I've seen 2 fires of lighting systems, different lighting companies, different designs, that straight up caught fire.
Must have been one of those LEDs that you can just get into through fans or something. Or
Fish Ganja guy actually had an issue with ladybugs getting into one of his lights and smoldering. I don't remember what company it was as well. Yeah, so it actually, if you over release ladybugs in particular, because of their larger biomass and how much they like heat and electricity, kind of like an ant does, they actually can be a fire hazard.
How do you explain that to the insurance company? How'd this fire start? Well, let's talk about.
He's trying to be organic,
But I've had them fly up into my HID too. I've lost ladybugs. Like you said, they just fly up in the light and get torched when they hit that 1,000-watt lamp. It's like sayonara. So yeah, that's a good thought. It's real hard to do it. And the other thing I wanted to say, add to Steve, what Steve said, is the reason they fly away is because when you get predator bugs, they're only going to stay there if there's something to eat. Something to be a predator to, otherwise they're going to go and find something else to kill and eat. So
is like banker plants. If you really want, if you had a large indoor garden, I could see using banker plants. But what dude was just saying, the small scale grower is not going to, have enough room or really care about growing a banker plant, which is, essentially just a plant for beneficial insects to colonize so that they can reproduce and stay in your garden. So one of the biggest studies I've seen on this was with rose gardens. They were looking at ways, because they use beneficial insects a lot. Anybody who's grown roses knows they can be pretty sensitive, and obviously they were looking to maintain crops for cheaper, and so they started looking at banker plants in order to keep their costs down, because the insects would just reproduce in the garden, so they wouldn't have to continue investing. And so there are methods of doing it, but I think that probably on the small scale, it can be very difficult to be able to do. And that was all outdoor, but I think the same would apply. If you had a significant size indoor grow, I think it would be interesting to do, which, those are popping up all over the place now with legalization. There's some large ones for sure.
I kind of hijacked that from Joshua before I forget I want to go to this. Scotty would want to go to this. How do we go to this? Do you know exactly when it is yet?
Yeah, I'll do a posting here in the next day or two. I want to confirm the last few guests before I do, but
okay.
I guess first point of contact will be my Instagram, Dutch Blooms Organic.
Get a hold of us. We'll blast it out on Wake and Bake America for sure.
Awesome. So I just want to throw in real quick too. The other part, beside the IPM, is it's going to be a biostimulant day, and that's really important for aquaponic growers because the fish do not provide, as we all know, a full nutrient source. That's why we do the dual root zone, to get the mycorrhizae and other nutrients in there. But also, there's a bunch of other ways. So we're hoping to have two folks specifically. They've been on the show, I will say, in the last recent 2 months, and they are experts in their fields. Maybe in the last week or so, hint, but we'll see if they can make it. And then we'll have a bunch of aquaponics stuff going on tonight. From the Steve is one of the crew who I think we all consider to be leading the aquaponic field, and some of the other dudes. So I'm really excited about it, you guys. Thanks for letting me share and talk about it real quick, though.
Yeah, we have a couple of aquaponic guests as well that will be there and that we'll be announcing as well. We're just talk to everybody and everything. We're just sharing updates and double checking calendars and stuff. So, but and we'll have a dinner the one night as well, optional dinner and stuff if you want. It'll be CBD infused, and we have another thing that we're trying to cook up as well that we're waiting for a little more details on as well to go with it. So
why not just no THC in this dinner at all?
Oh, it just has to do with zoning in this particular place. But who knows? Who knows? You never know.
Walk out in the cornfields. You got to walk out in the cornfield.
I don't know, Steve. With you, I want to know.
Let's. There's a couple of really cool spots nearby. So the whole event will be hosted at Ouroboros Farms in Half Moon Bay. As far as the classes and everything, it's at a commercial aquaponics farm. We have a very large classroom there. We'll have food and everything, for lunch and stuff like that. It'll be really cool. So you won't really have to go anywhere. And you get to actually observe a completely functional commercial aquaponics farm and a whole bunch of different crops that are grown a whole bunch of different ways. The cannabis facility isn't finished yet, so I don't have a tour of that yet, but maybe later in the year, beginning of next year, when
I'll go on that.
The licensing division decides to finally give us our shit.
Oh, that'd be fabulous.
But it's okay.
I've not seen that in person yet, I don't believe, as far as aquaponics full on with cannabis.
Yeah, I know Scotty had a chance to come out to see Ken's farm, which isn't cannabis, but the farm that it's actually at, which was really cool. But yeah, so it'll be in Half Moon Bay, and it'll be July 16th through the 20th. And then there's hopefully a surprise event on the 21st that'll be announced here. More details coming soon in the next couple of weeks.
It was Steve, wasn't you? I remember back in the day, I believe you invited me to an aquaponics class. I ended up showing up with somebody else. You were in Longmont, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You had you were growing island sweet skunk, maybe. You had heard I was growing it and liked it, and you were saying the one main difference with aquaponics is that there's no matter what I do with my organics or synthetics or whatever, I'm not going to get a better, but you're not going to get the same flavor profile as aquaponically grown. If me and you are growing the same cut of the exact same mom plant, yours is going to taste like way different in a different way. Or how do you talk about aquaponic flavor?
Yeah, so we've noticed that the aquatic food web changes the terpenes and the terpene profiles. It also, through testing, have found that in general it increases CBD and THCV. We've had enormous increases in certain strains, as much as 50% increases in certain strains, like ludicrous amounts. We're actually currently helping with a gentleman over at University of Kentucky State. This fall, they'll be doing thanks, shout out to Spectrum King for giving us some lighting info we needed for that experiment a couple days ago. A big shout out to Brendan. Anyways, so we're doing a thing specifically on CBD hemp in aquaponics versus soil in regards to cannabinoid profile and terpene levels. So they're going to grow them side by side, 3 systems each, and 3 soil systems, 3 aquaponic systems, and at the end of it, one dual, dual root zone, and then it'll be all published through academia. So it's not just me saying it. It's not just a writer and a cannabis thing. It's actually a university that has, legitimate.
Yeah.
We gotta fight. You gotta get Efren involved with that in the correct mycorrhizae.
Oh, he'd love that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know you guys he's working on some cool stuff. Actually, you're working with him. Do you want to, you got some crazy stuff you're working on with him, testing some stuff, right?
Well, it's just that. I mean, he's identifying the specific strains of mycorrhizae that work with cannabis.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting thing to me that I recently understood through you, Steve, is with the dual root zone. So if you plant cannabis directly in a aquatic bed, a rock bed without the dual root zone, you can't. There's no mycorrhizae. They don't function in that area.
It was Elaine that told me that when I was talking to Elaine on the phone.
Right.
Elaine's the one that told me that. So Elaine tested a dual root zone pot and actually observed the mycorrhizae going down the root.
Right.
So that was totally because it has like that home base to grow from. So I thought that was super crazy.
Well, in cannabis, and this is Elaine talk, cannabis in its succession, it's an understory, under canopy dwelling plant. So it's fungally dominant, lots of mycorrhizae. It needs that. It's not like this tomato plant. Like we often want to put it in this bacteria, fungi 1-to-1 category, like a tomato plant, but it's not that whatsoever. It's not a vegetable.
So what kind of setup do you have over there? I know you're rocking some Spectrum Kings. I think I remember helping you hang your SK600. You were one of the first to have one.
Over here in the dude garden.
Yep.
Not the little dude garden, as I was been banned from calling it the fairy garden behind me. It's now the little dude garden. But the Spectrum Kings up over here, you can't see. There's a closet case right there, 140 that just hangs, and usually I'm waiting that space to free up to do an auto flower because this is my workspace, and I like to be surrounded by what's going on in the workspace and just always checking on plants. As far as the bloom room, yeah, I hung a SK600 602 actually recently, and then also I have my 600 that's going on its 4th year or something. And I don't know. I've never been happier with just quality and the way the plant reacts to the light, the way I like to work under the light, going into the room and having like a welcoming light that, I don't know, it's just nice. And Spectrum King is, they're help supporting you with what you have going on with those trials, which is awesome. And it's good, as we say, to see people supporting our industry directly. We're cannabis growers. This is what we want to do. But yeah, that's what I'm rocking now. I shut down one room. I'm focusing. I have a 4-foot wide by 12-foot long bloom room that I keep running now all the time with the 2 600s. Luckily, I think I have about a 9-foot ceiling in there, which helps me out a little bit with those 600s. But my other room, which is like a bigger walk-in closet right next to it, I shut down, and it's been down for a couple months. I think I'm just leave it shut down for the summer, which my grower brain's like, man, because I have lights I could put in there. But it's been really nice to focus on just one room and try and just instead of trying to water in everything or be on more of a production schedule, even though that's still a small garden with both rooms, don't get me wrong, but really trying to, sound cheesy, be one with the plant, and have the time to not only just go in and water it in, but chill out in there. And I've been popping beans now more than I ever have. I've always been a grower from clones. What produces well, what does good. Okay, I need 8 of those. I want to even canopy, and I want to be able to yield weight. But I'm not growing like that anymore. And it's been really fun to be able to grow, especially with access to seeds now. Used to be like, the game. Shit, I might get them in 3 weeks. I don't know. They're coming over the ocean. Like, shout out to Seeds Here Now, who helps supports our show. I got all kinds of seeds. I've been having a lot of fun popping seeds. I'm impatient though. I look at my seeds and I'm like, I got to pop more, but it just takes time. It takes time to see what's going to happen.
I had that frustration because I just right now, because I'm in the process of finishing building out my aquaponics system where I'm living now, and I'm growing in soil just to get the moms going, so I have some clones and I can figure out what's growing well, and I can, what I mean, I can do some weeding out. And right now, soil is so painfully slow compared to aquaponics that I forgot. I was like, it's like watching paint dry.
Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, that's kind of like comparing soil to a good, deep water culture system, which I don't recommend, but the growth is phenomenal when the shit's dialed in. But yeah, soil has its hiccups and points of, like I just transplanted and the plants wanted to hang out for a week and be like, what? And now they're starting to pop again. You don't have those same hiccups in that system probably.
Well, what else is cool? So a lot of the cool stuff, like we had Chris Trump on last week. And the same university that I was just mentioning, University of Kentucky State, took lactobacillus ferment, which is almost the same recipe that he uses, and they actually introduced it to the water, just the water of the system. Okay. Yeah. And it increased fish growth rate by 15% and the plant growth rate by, I forget what the plant growth rate percentage was. So simply by getting the microbes good, it was making the fish and the plants grow better. So I thought that was, really
no, it's
cool.
Awesome.
I thought something else that he said was really interesting, that he clarified that we in aquaponics we want to use labs, but in the soil we want to use IMOs. And I thought that was a real good clarification. He was saying IMO is not necessarily good for the fish, where so it's like there's the difference. The microbiology for soil or soilless type grows, it would be your IMOs, your Korean natural farming IMOs, and the lactobacillus would work there too, I believe. But in the dual root zone in aquaponics with the fish and all, you want to use the lactobacillus.
Well, you could use the IMOs if you just use them in the soil layer, but you'd have to, again, you gotta be careful. You got to be careful,
Yeah, so let's we try to err on the side of not putting a grower into screwing up, so use labs and aquaponics.
So do you guys have any other cool stuff coming up? You guys have any cool guests, or what other things do you guys have planned for this year as far as the growth of the DGC and the channel and everything?
We're always trying to push the production with the video show, as far as we feel that's a pretty, the ability for us to work remotely is important, as far as it's cool that I never even believed when they're like, look, you got to get a green screen and Guru's going to make you guys look like you're hanging out together. I'm like, I don't even believe that shit, but it's come a long way. So working on that and finding, a good home for the video show. Event wise, we want to try and do a few more within reason. It takes a lot to do an event, and sometimes we want to focus on the good content a lot and getting guests more and more. Guests are always awesome in the industry, and we keep meeting more people all the time because this industry has so much growth to still be had. But I'm trying to think ahead to the summer here. I mean, you're catching me on what I used to say, I don't know, Steve, it's summertime, man. I mean, I'm thinking about mountain biking and some other jazz, but no, just keep doing what we're doing, man. If we just keep doing what we're doing and, as Scott would say, keeping it real, the show just drives itself and with the crew. And it's always been word of mouth. We've never put a dime into marketing. And sometimes we've had conversations where we think we need to, we should put an ad here or try this. But to be not too simple, just keep doing what we're doing and try to do it the best we can. Bring the knowledge.
So you guys host a cool event once or twice a year called the DGC Cup. Do you guys want to tell people about that? We just had one. In fact, I just saw you about a month ago.
Yeah. Always trying to do it the weekend before 420 here in Denver, the DGC Cup, an evolution of trying to have an event for growers to judge growers' flower, and it's not, and it's a hangout as well. The judging, we try to up the, I don't want to say seriousness of every year, but have it be, something that's really cool to come together for sure when we get to have and I want it to continue to be more of not only a growers event, other people come and enjoy the culture. But that's part of what I like to see, people have the ability to bring their flower somewhere, not spend a ton of money to show it off, have some pretty decent prizes and recognition on it, and just hang with everybody. And then, like you said, we're trying, that's the DGC Cup. I guess the other ones we're calling throwdowns. We've done one throwdown. So that was in Portland. And that was a learning experience, not in a bad way. That was the first one we did remotely. And we would love to try and do a couple more of those. We would just get to hang out on a smaller level for sure. Because when you literally doing that and you get to meet some listeners and meet new people, and it's when you meet, if you do an event like that and you just meet two people or one person that could change your life or help spread the word, it's totally worth it. So
I think the word you were looking for is relevance. You're getting more relevance year after year.
Yeah, I'll take that.
No, we had a blast at the one in Portland. It was at a really cool cannabis club. It was like an old bar. It was kind of neat.
That was interesting. Yeah, I think we got something coming up in November. It's not confirmed yet, but at the same spot where we were before. And they said they had some improvements to their spot. I didn't mind that place. It was just basically place was a Northwest Portland Cannabis Co. I still have my
Northwest
card.
Cannabis Co.
You keep your card, Steve, because you got to.
Oh yeah.
All right, I got mine. It's lifetime. It's in my wallet, I believe. But anyway, it's like, it was just a bar that had an old cigar bar. So that guy still holds a license for people to be able to smoke inside. I believe this is a story. Turned it over to cannabis. And that kicks ass. And it's weird. Like you go in there and you're like, oh, there's the bar, like the U-shaped bar. There's no liquor anywhere. There's no bottles. There's no taps. It's just, you never see that. And then, going downstairs, the same thing. There was a bar and we took that bar and lined it with cannabis, which was awesome. And it was an interesting hang. Cool night.
So I was actually there about 4 months ago and 3 months ago.
Okay. Did they change much?
They fixed it up a little more just downstairs is a little more, a little nicer, a little less basement looking, I guess.
We'll have to get a hold of them, see if they need any can fans or anything we can donate or whatever. Make sure it's always good to have somewhat of okay ventilation in a spot when you got like 50 tokers. It can get heavy.
It was great. We had there was a Aquaponics Association conference in Portland in November, and it was really funny because the DGC Cup, it was like a month or two before that, and I was like, everyone's like, I'm in Portland, like I want to go smoke some weed, but I don't know where to go. And I was like, I know where we can go. I ended up bringing like a whole group of 20 or 30 people that had never been in that kind of, never even smoked in public, better yet, like seen something like that. And they walk in and it was some kind of like dab fest night, and it was like their anniversary. So there was just like a ton of free weed and they didn't even know what to do. It was funny. It was like awesome. They walked onto a different planet. It was so funny.
Is Joshua still on the line?
Yeah,
man.
You're just chilling, man. You're in Washington?
Yeah, I'm dude, you'd actually love where I'm from what I've heard. You're into mountain biking, right?
Definitely.
Bethlehem, Washington. We have some pretty awesome mountain biking and awesome beer and awesome weed.
How far are you from so you're up, is that north, I guess?
Yeah, I actually live like 5-10 minutes from the border.
All right, yeah. Buddy. We'll see. There's some rumors, nothing for sure, that I could possibly make it up to what is it, Surrey, BC? It's like South Vancouver or something.
Yeah.
Ooh, you should let me know because
I'm right there, man.
I'll give
people in the area.
I'll give an official.
I might be out there too. I might be out there in the next couple of months because we're all doing a farm thing. A guy in Canada right above the border, is on the reserve up there, and he's got 150 acres, and he's wanting us to help him out. So, and that's all I can say.
Well,
As
it's like,
Steve would
I'm
say, I can't tell you
Texas
anything
and
else.
Canada.
It's, you know,
Well, I might be moving, not just visiting. I might be moving.
Oh,
So
cool, dude. Very cool.
yeah, it's nice to know that there's
Usually
some peeps out there.
Albert, dude, in Bellingham. It's from what I've heard, and I've been there once, but I'm not a huge mountain biker, but it's like one of the best places in the country or in the U.S. to ride.
Hell yeah.
I'm too top heavy to go mountain biking anymore.
Don't get me on my soapbox, man. I'm just buying a new bike the other day, and yeah, I'll just start boring everybody. I got to get ready to bounce, guys. I got my wife going out of town for the weekend coming up here, so I got to go hang for a little bit. Unless you guys got anything else, I was just gonna say thanks for having me on. Always appreciate building the network, podcasters, spreading the knowledge, whatever you want to call yourself, just getting out there on the internets is awesome. So
I wanted to ask you something. Do you have we started a ILGM, I Love Growing Marijuana podcast network. I'm getting ready to do a website, but we're doing it right now on the forum. And I've got the Growing the Fishes podcast. We got all that. Do you have any issue if I put you up there? And
no, not at all. What are you linking up to?
Well, after we get you started, would it be easier for you to post your links on there? And I'll open up a Dudes Grow Show category, like in the podcast. I'll open up.
We can go over this offline.
Oh, okay. Well, are we going to quit now? He's going to leave.
No. I mean, I'll put you guys together, and you all can handle it.
He's got my direct email. So yeah, hit up Steve, or Steve, you can share my number as well. So guys, I appreciate it hanging out, and definitely have no issue spreading out all that shit with podcasts. So share the information, and I am going to. This is cool. The first time I got to use my background for anything. It's usually always a green
background,
man. So yeah, much appreciated. Joshua, I'm excited to meet you sometime soon, and you guys all have a good eve.
Yeah, bro.
Awesome.
Have a good
Thanks
night.
a lot, bud.
Thanks you so much for giving us a shout out too. And I got one more suggestion. Take advantage of the 50/50 gold leaf that Robert bred. It's a over 20% CBD, over 20% THC strain.
That's a 40% club. There's not many.
Gold leaf?
Actually, they say it's high 20s. Okay. But I'm not going to say, I'm just saying it's, hey, it's pretty good.
Don't be just saying. You can't be just saying.
Yeah, that's I'm just saying. Well, I don't have the testing facilities to tell you, but it's a very vigorous plant. That you said you were looking at stuff. You said, then they give you like half off on it because it's his personal strain. So
nice.
So
get in touch, man. Let's chat. You guys, peace out.
Wait.
Appreciate it.
Skype. Can I get you on Skype?
Yeah. You can get me on Skype as well.
We'll do that later, as Steve said, after hours. It's been a blast, man. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Peace out.
All right. So thanks for the dude for coming on again. We've been trying to get him on for a while, and finally able to align schedules. So it was really cool to have him on and shoot the shit, and it was great. Yeah, thanks again for Josh for helping to put together that conference. We're really looking forward to that. I know I am. I don't think anyone's ever sat down and tried to, super analyze the aquatic food web, and it'll be really fun to do that with Elaine. And man, I'm just super stoked, and all the other great guests that we have lined up. I think it's really going to be a great week of morning and evening sessions, and it's just going to kick ass. So.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's going to be a lot of good learning. I'm excited.
What's the cost of that? What's the cost of all the days, or how are you?
We're still finalizing that. We're still finalizing that right now, and then we'll have that out when the page goes live in the next couple of days, next day or two. We're just finalizing a couple of details.
People like to know that kind of information.
Oh yeah. Yep. We'll have maybe Josh has a couple other insight into that, but I think that's where we're at right at the moment.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be expensive, is all I'll say. I just sort of apologize. It's expensive to put all this stuff together, quite honestly, and no one's trying to get rich or anything. And think I got together an early bird special for 2,500, kind of deal, and then $3,000, kind of full purchase price, and then you can buy a microscope for $300. We've
and
got
that's 5 days of
it's
Yep.
5 days, yeah, and like I said, Lane is pretty cool on transferring some of those credits, if you will, to her program. It's learning how to use a microscope. It's an IPM program designed specifically for aquaponics. It's biostimulants designed specifically for aquaponics by both KNF and humic and fulvic acid. I'll say that much. And then are anticipating having all the the four fathers of aquaponics, maybe the four pillars, I'll say, and Steve is one of them. And
Yep,
you
we'll
guys
have
can imagine who the other three are.
Yep, we have a couple different people.
Ken is obviously is one of them, and we're at his farm.
Yep. Yeah. Ken will be there. I'll be there. And then we have 2 other really awesome aquaponic guests for you guys. Possibly one other one as well. Just waiting to confirm schedules. So it'll be really a really cool thing. It'll be 9 to 5 for the morning session, and then we'll have kind of a break for dinner, and then like an evening talk session as well. So it'll be 10, 12, 14 hours a day. Somewhere between 12 to 14 hours a day of content each day, hands-on with Elaine Ingham, Susan Wainwright. If you have any questions on IPM, she can answer any question you could ever have. She's incredible when it comes to IPM. So if you're a company out there trying to figure out how to be more sustainable with your IPM, bring what your plan is and tell her what you got going on. And if you have at least your list of questions, she's not going to do your IPM system for you. She does do that for a living, so you can contact her that way. But
is there going to be digital media available? Are you going to include any digital media for people to take home? And
we can't do that.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
I'm just curious. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's a good question. A lot of people ask that, but it's come to my, with a couple of these speakers, they want freedom to say things that they don't want recorded, and those are valuable things to be heard. Yep. And they can be offensive to some other people. That's why they don't want them recorded. So, but it's good information, and like to me, that really speaks to the potency of what will be talked about.
Yep.
So, I can't say how excited I am. I wish that someone was doing this 10 years ago for me, and I didn't have to, beat this information out the hard way.
Yep. And it'll be a small class. It'll be limited to 32 people. Exactly. So it won't be like 150 people and you're all trying to vie for attention. It's going to be, 25, 30 people, and that's it. And the teacher, hands-on the whole time. So it won't be like a trying to, fight just to get your question in. So. And so we'll mainly cover IPM, we'll cover microbials, how to boost production in your system and make sure you're not harming your fish or anything like that, and a whole wide other range of things as well, including equipment and kind of the latest on a bunch of different technologies relating to organic, hydro, or aquaponic. So. Alrighty, so what do you got growing on over there with your garden? Either one of you, whoever wants to go first.
Well, I was late for our weekly tour from Josh. He usually walks around his greenhouse.
Yeah, I'll do a quick one because I got to get going. But
oh, okay. You don't have to though, brother. I mean, I'll just
I want to. I haven't been doing that much, but I'm actually kind of switching. Not switching, but. I've been showing you guys all those genetics and stuff that I got, and I see a real opportunity to operate as a nursery to provide genetics.
Yeah,
and
that's a good idea.
Back to me, and so that's what I'm kind of going to be focusing on. So that's what I kind of started working on here today. It looks small, but I'm starting my mom's, So these are some of the ones I've showed you guys before, but they're outside and. looking good. This one that I'm particularly excited about. This is verified dog walker, the 91 Chem Dog on the Albert Walker. And I verified that both from Albert Walker's nephew and from I listened to a podcast with Skunk VA and he was talking about it. And and I got this cut from California. So pretty excited about that. It's stanky. Yeah, and so I got a whole selection of stuff here. This one is a Royal Kush. This one, I got 3 of these skunk dogs, and it's apparently skunk number 1 on Chem Dog 91. There's 3 phenos from that seed batch. And then there's the Skittles. I'm excited to try. I don't know if you've heard about the Skittles, Roger. It's apparently void of myrcene. So, you know, that common weed smell when you smoke weed, it's void of that. And so like when you smoke it, it actually just tastes really like Skittles and like doesn't have that weed overtone.
I want some.
Right? Yeah.
Is that from seed? That from seed, right?
I don't know that, you know, someone just asked me that if it was clone only or from seed. I honestly, I feel stupid. I feel like the guy I got it from told me it was a seed sift of like a 3,000 seed sift, and this was the one. So this is a clone to me.
Okay.
Someone thought that it was clone only, and I didn't. I'm not confident enough to argue that.
Okay,
but that's what I remember.
Just curious.
I remember that it was a seed sift, from what I remember.
Yeah, because I'd like to have some of that. That I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to breed. See, that would make me want to do some breeding. That's the first thing that made me go, okay, right. I've got this giant seed bank available to me, so I don't care. And then wait a minute, it don't stink. It right. Tastes like freaking Skittles. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, man.
There was a Warlock phenome I had in Colorado. It smelled a lot like chocolate. You could be like 6 feet from it in full flower, and it didn't smell like weed. It smelled like chocolate or something, like you were cooking or something. It was weird.
That's wild. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that too, and I'm trying to do that delicate process of saving the terpenes in the curing method. That's where I'm expanding my experiments, where I'm not changing the grow methods, so to speak. Except I am going to start using some ferment. But
I don't have my headphones, so it might be hard for me to talk in here. You guys let me know and I can mute it. But things are jamming really hard in this greenhouse right now. I'm pretty stoked. You can see I'm building hoops back here. I don't know if I had those last week. I'll put these in tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So I can't afford the full light depth system, so I'm making hoops on my beds. And I bought a tarp, and I'm gonna finish that tomorrow, and then continue to clean up all my plants. Give them like 3 or 4 days, and Monday or Tuesday I'm gonna flip this whole row. It's a little thin in some spots, but I need to make some money.
I'm glad you did that, because I've been thinking about putting grow like that inside, like you got hoops in there. Now I've got the bars, and I grow everything vertically and hang it up 8 feet, everything I grow. But that is really awesome, because I've thought about that, because you could have certain crops where you can protect them with plastic, and keep them much warmer.
Right.
Yeah, you could have winter crops on the outside.
I got the ideas. Those guys will do like Agribon and stuff in the winter. Lettuce growers, you know what I'm talking about, or Remay.
I heard Agribon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the lettuce growers will do that in the winter. They'll do these little mini hoops inside the greenhouse, and they'll use Agribon or Remay. It's the same. And
all that hoop is just 1 8-foot piece of half-inch PVC. They just bend into a half circle.
Yeah. This is 1 inch. That's what I had, and then this is the other thing that is, I think, important. I don't know if you can see that.
Looks like a recycle timer or something.
Yeah.
Oh, humidity controller. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'll put a 10-inch fan right here, and then when I dep it at night, for 4 or 5 hours that it's depped, I'll have that fan sucking on the humidity controller, sucking the humidity out of here, and then I'll come back 10 o'clock at night and pull the tarp off, and it'll be ready to go just to turn on at the natural light cycle. And then I'm just gonna follow in the bed, so I'll follow with this one over here, 2 weeks behind this one.
I love that greenhouse, man. That's nice, man. That's freaking nice.
And then the next one 2 weeks behind that one is my plan. So, I mean, these plants, they're getting adjusted for sure. They're growing hard.
But they don't look like they're laying down. So, I mean, that's a real, yeah, that's getting bushy over there now.
They're getting bushy. Look at these guys. I mean, man, these guys got so many tops per area. Look at that. I mean, these are going to be, they're going to be all over the place on this section. And these guys are they're chugging along these Senex.
Are you topping those big ones regularly, or?
No, I haven't topped them at all.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I took a couple clones off them, but I'm gonna go clean up the bottoms and take all the fan leaves off this weekend, tomorrow and Saturday, and then
you're gonna schwaze them, or are you just gonna thin the bottoms?
Yeah, I'm gonna schwaze them.
Oh shit!
But not super hard, because I'm gonna turn it on Monday or Tuesday.
You're gonna turn them. Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna start flipping that. I'm gonna start pulling that tarp on Monday or Tuesday, because I want to be able to harvest before the conference. So I'm scheduling this all out, right? So if I flip it by Monday, then I can harvest at 8 weeks the Monday before the conference, and I have to harvest that whole row that week. And then I'm going to do the next one 2 weeks after that, so that it's the week after the conference.
There you go.
The other one, and then I'll just.
There you go.
And then I'm going to be planting, so I got to plant directly after that, so I can get my 2 crops in this year. So it's gonna
bubble hash that shit day of harvest, and just bring the bubble rosin.
Yeah, that's actually part of the plan. I'm gonna probably take my tops and dry those, and then freeze and bubble hash. So it'll be a week of harvest where it's like, where you're hashing what you harvested the day before. So it froze in overnight.
I love that shit. Get a nice rhythm going, so you can only harvest so much each day anyway.
I need some crack cocaine.
You need Dr. Roxo to show up.
Something. Yeah. Red Bulls.
Lordy.
Awesome. What about that's cool. Is that's all you got going? You got a veggie garden or anything going, or just?
I do have the veggie. Yeah, it's a little bit out of range, but I got me and my wife. We got peppers. I got 15 varieties of peppers. I keep going crazy on the peppers.
I know the
I
fields.
got a bunch, 50 or so tomato plants and celery, celeriac, all the stuff. So yeah, most of it's in the aquaponics though. That's kind of been my go-to for veggies still. So I'd like to be able to cover that area. I kind of have showed you guys a couple times. I'd like to, if I could get to it, cover it before the winter, so we can just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like buying vegetables at all. They're usually not very good when I buy them.
Yeah, dying plants. Yeah, they don't taste that good. Yeah.
How are did you bring those CBD? Did you get those CBD plants? How are those doing?
Yeah, I'll walk over to those. They're starting to jam.
Yeah, I had mine are kicking ass, but three of them threw. I still can't figure out why, but I had 3 of them throw flowers, like male flowers. They're totally in veg, but they threw male flowers, which is weird.
I had some throw some male flowers early on, and I just tossed them out, assumed they were males, but that was back in April.
Oh yeah, well, these guys, I just realized it a couple days ago, and when I was thinning them, I think I'm gonna take them and put them outside because they've been under like 20
There's
or
one
18. So, okay.
starting to come back. There's Kitty. She's any day now she's gonna have some babies.
Aw.
There's another one. I kind
Okay,
of
bring me one of the kittens too.
Everyone wants
Well, you just
I need
failed
them.
GAP certification. Okay.
Dude. Well, look at. I can show you why here, right here, Roger. Look at these.
Why
hoes, man.
what? You
See these
failed
holes?
GAP certification because if you even have a dog run out and beat the guy that comes to certify you, they fail you.
See why? I don't care about certifications.
I know. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you and the government. That's all. I'm just
Look, they're
giving
everywhere,
an
man.
elbow.
You do the sulfur bombs, or what do you do for them?
No, I got the cat.
Oh.
El Natural. Look at this little guy.
Yeah, that'll bomb them.
What you do is you get a 50-pound tank of propane, and you take the hose, you stick that sucker down there. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
No.
But I always thought, no, what you could do is you could go get a halon tank. You could find a place you could buy like a 5-pound, 10-pound halon tank, and you could stick that down there. That's a heavy gas that would hang out in there, and that would work real well.
I don't know about any of that. I don't know what halon is.
Halon's a gas that dissipates pretty quickly once it's outside, but it would suck all the oxygen out of the tunnel and suffocate them.
Very heavy gas.
The kitties should do it, and once they do it, then they can get the fuck out of my garden. That's my thought, So.
The other thing we found works sometimes, my grandma used to do too, for groundhogs would be take a bunch of ground peppers and pour that down their thing because they crawl over it and then they like groom themselves and then
Yeah.
And I got those.
That works good for peaches or apricots. You can take I can't remember what she used. A little bit of honey, and warm water, and make kind of like a sticky honey water with a little bit of lemon in it, and then we'd put cayenne pepper in it, and we mix it all up, and then we take paintbrushes and paint it on the outside of the peaches and apricots, and it would keep the squirrels from stealing them. Then you just wash it off when you eat it,
Here's I got this. This is all Oro borealis. This is where the chickens tore up, so I kind of cleaned it up as best I could. I got to still throw some mulch on it, and
is that drip line?
Yeah, it's this. So this is it's a drip hose.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, T-tape.
It's Tyvek type material, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
And,
okay. Yeah, Tyvek. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, and it connects through this blue mat system. Are you familiar with these?
Well, they got different. I use Toro. I use Toro systems because they got 1/2 inch, 1 inch, they 2 inch, and all that. So I use Toro, and then I adapt it to regular old poly or PVC or
Check this out. So see this is ceramic down here, and on the inside it's hollow and filled with water. And as the ceramic dries out, I just messed it up. It allows. I'll see if I can get you a good shot here. So see the tube going through there?
Yeah.
As the ceramic gets too moist, it puts pressure on the tube, closes the valve. The valve is the tube. When it dries out, it releases the pressure and calls for water. And so in that, it calls for a very, very small amount of water. It's always active, and always present.
So it's an ongoing on and off without having to use the shit out of your pump.
No timer, no pump.
Feed,
exactly. Yeah, it can run off gravity if you want. I have it just running off my house system. Runs through a filter, and that's it.
I know a lot of people that they're always wanting to go, how can I self water? There it is, right there.
This is it. It takes about a week to kind of trigger it or dial it in, but and you have to have the mulch. Like it can't look like this. I just have it, but it's all spaghetti like that, and ends up creating a big. The bed is like a coffee, like coffee filter. It's all moist, the same level, and it just soaks up and stays the same moisture level all the way through the bed. That's what's cool here. Then I got my.
So are you using gravity, or how are you pumping it, or gravity?
It's just off what comes in through the line, so it's the well pump.
Like a water line.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay,
and then
it
runs through not a RO but a double filter, a sediment and a chloramine filter.
Just taking out the metals, right?
Yeah. And then it goes through a pressure reducer before it gets to this. And then that's how my whole greenhouse is watered. Is that way? I don't ever mess with it.
Huh.
Nice.
It's super super low effort here. Oh, my LED.
I'm surprised you don't have air problem with air pockets on some of it, since it's going up and down and around and stuff, because generally you want to run from a low straight up,
well, because
to a higher area, and then and you've got it where it's up and over the pile. So explain how that works, and you don't get the water, like the air bubbles, air pockets that would stifle flow to your emitters.
Because the emitter is through the hose, and so the whole hose fills up, and the whole hose gets taut, and then
okay. It does actually get all right. It's a lot of pressure, more pressure.
Yeah, and so the cool thing about this is, there's like drip tape, which has usually emitters this is
4 inches. Yeah, porous. I use those.
Yeah, this is porous all over. And then it has a hard line down the middle with the U channel in it. I'm kind of trying to show you. And that allows no cloggage. So if there's any particulate in there, it'll slide through that line. Basically, this stuff is designed to be buried underground and be part of the soil.
It's kind of like almost like a drain field type situation.
Almost, yeah.
I mean, kind of, where it emits all along the line. It will
everywhere.
Go
out.
It's
just porous, so it just squirts it out. And
that's pretty cool. Do you have to tie it down so when it gets taut, it's not wanting to jump? Do you have to stake it down?
It's uber low pressure. Like I could show you. I mean,
it's uber low. Okay, well, okay.
So I'll show you right here. It's a cool system. I've been doing it for a year. So there, it's emitting here now.
I got a lot of members at the forum that would love this. That go outside would love this technology.
It's just barely dripping right now, and that's emitting.
Yeah.
Just drip the whole thing up, and then it'll stop when the clay thing says to stop. I gotta put this down to put this back on.
Look at that! I have a way of just dragging people back into the show when they want to go home.
Yeah, you got good questions, man.
Well, you know what? People are looking at it. They might as well explain and help them understand how really, if you just put some work and experimentation into it, you can pretty much design systems to grow any way you want to, and you can be very successful doing it.
Totally. No, it's good to ask the questions because when like I'm showing this stuff, I assume so much, information, and it's good to just ask questions and get rid of the assumptions.
Well, if you haven't worked in a commercial greenhouse world, a lot of people wouldn't have a clue. They would just see some kind of weird hose down there, and they wouldn't have an idea what you actually have going on there, and that's
or if you do, I mean, most people aren't aware with that. Most people think it was on some sort of timed system, It's a cool little low tech. It's been around since the 70s. It's called Bluemont or Blue Mat for the Okies. Bluemont.
Bluemont.
BLUMAT.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go, everybody out there. There for you people outdoors always wanting to figure out how to self-water and go on vacation. There you go. You might get away with it with that if you have a big enough reservoir to gravity feed into that system. That'll just drip, drip, drip for you day after day after day.
Yep. And what
Thank
I
you,
do
Josh.
in my indoor grows is I have a raised reservoir that is raised in the top of the room so that it has the gravity feed pressure, and then I just have a little float valve on it to fill it with an 1/8 inch. So it's like it's all good all the time. I don't know.
Well, now you brought up another question. How high, how many meters off the ground is your reservoir?
Well, I'm from the U.S., man, so I talk in feet
Or yards? All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think 6 to 8 feet is fine. Is all you need. I have mine just above head height, and I'm 6 foot tall, so and it works. And I just have I have a little 3 or 4 gallon tank. It's not a big deal, because I have that float valve always filling it. It's filling as fast as it's pulling, and it works just fine.
And see, that's directly proportional to how big your garden or greenhouse or grow space is too. Because so if you had 1,000 square feet, you'd have to be 30 meters or so, like 100 feet off the ground, in order to
No.
feed
So
that.
like in this greenhouse.
No, in your area, that 8 feet. Yeah, I agree. That's plenty for what you're doing.
Yeah. But I'd need a bigger reservoir for the greenhouse.
But if you had to do that whole freaking complex you're walking around in, where you got set up to build greenhouses and more greenhouses, you'd have to, and you had one tank, you'd have to have it way higher up in the air. That's all,
Yeah, you're right. I kind of like this idea of using that. I think it's 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch. I got it right here. Irrigation line.
That looked like 1/4 inch that I saw. 1/8 inch is more like spaghetti, micro line. I use micro sprayers, so I use the micro line coming out a 1/2 inch.
And that can send water and slow feed all these reservoirs all over my 10 acres.
Yeah.
And it's a real small thing. You can dig down in the ground and put it under the frost line real easy, and it's cheap. And I don't know, people spend a lot of money on white PVC, and I just think that this is a much more efficient way to do it. And it works for me.
I've gone from white PVC on long runs to the black poly tubing, the black rolls. I mean, that shit works great. And you can buy all kinds of valves and stuff. I got a whole box of 1/2 inch valves. You just punch a hole and stick it in there and run a line off of it. You can control the flow and on each line and stuff like that. But that's excellent. And the other thing is, you appear to be, like you said, plumbing to each individual greenhouse or grow space you have.
I'll show you right now.
That means you can have a small reservoir 6 to 8 feet off the ground at each grow space instead of filling up with a float valve, right?
So this is my.
We're going to see the fish.
Yeah. No, those are blue mats soaking the carrots. But this is just inside my little clone room. It's kind of dark and messy. But there's my cloner racks. Dirty, messy, and this is just 3 or 4 gallons of water, and it fills up. And if I take all the water out of there, it'll fill up in 4 minutes. So I just kind of always have that in my little space, and it's just always constantly filled. And
Yep. Exactly.
Like $10 to do that, and it saves the heck out of me chasing hoses around and stuff. So
that's cool. What was that? A dehumidifier or next to it?
Yeah.
What was that? A portable AC?
No, that's a dehu. So I'll show you this, even though it's messy.
Oh, I got one. That's why I thought it was a dehumidifier. That looked like a dehumidifier.
This is messy in here, guys. I'm embarrassed.
Hey, you know what? That's like I just
you were using it.
Yeah, exactly. I can't keep my place clean, man. I'm telling you. I'm sorry, everybody out there.
So.
Oh, that's nice, man. You got a nice freaking setup there, buddy, dude.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
My freezers are drying out. I'm just kind of resetting.
So you talk about your freezers. Is that so when you harvest, you can freeze it? Would you like to tell somebody about that?
Damn it, Roger, you got questions.
Well, I just noticed stuff, and I know everybody wants to learn, and there you are.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. I freeze most of the crop because I'm a one-man operation, and because it makes the best hash, in my opinion, experience. is to freeze it first before you make hash, and then make that hash into rosin, the lower grade hash. So yeah, I got about 4 of those freezers, and I can fit around 150 pounds frozen in there. So if I'm washing, the plan is to be able to like wash as I'm harvesting. You know, harvest, freeze, and then the next day be washing that as we're filling up another one type deal. You know.
What is the netting on the wall? A random question.
Netting on the wall. What was it? Oh, behind here.
Yeah.
This is funny, dude. So this is just fence, right?
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Is that tie vet?
This
Oh.
this is the requirement by law. They we're not required to have this. We're required to have you can't see me. So this is this is to stop animals. This is to not let anybody see the dangerous plant marijuana that might just jump out and bite your child.
Inside the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Instantly corrupted by the mere sight.
All right, I won't ask you any more questions tonight, Josh, because you did say 30 minutes ago you wanted to get.
We'll let you go.
Well, I do
No, you're
usually
fine.
questions. I just
I know.
taking care of my son all day, and I'm beat on this
Thanks for coming on, and I look forward to having the flyers and stuff out for the event here in the next couple of days. So yeah, I look forward for more information from Josh on that.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Thanks for hosting us, and thanks to Ken for hosting us at
Hell yeah.
So fuck yeah, guys, have a good night.
All right,
Good
thanks.
night, brother.
Bye.
All right.
And
So what have you been growing?
Two. Where the
What have you
hell
been
did
up
everybody go tonight?
I know everybody took the night off. So.
Dude was really cool. I tell you what, I don't have a lot to say. We kind of covered what I'm doing when I was talking with Dude.
Sure.
So, you know,
so I've got a bunch of CBD girls going. Then I got some mothers that I'm hunting, figuring out what I like still. At some point, I'll post some videos of that. I posted some pictures on Instagram, so just trying to do that a little bit. Other than that, this past week I've been totally overwhelmed right now. We have a bunch of licensing stuff we're going through with the company, so just a lot of paperwork and filing shit and all the not fun part of being a cannabis business owner. What else we got going on? Not much else. Oh, just working on the video series on the nutrients. I'm working on that more on the aquaponic nutrients series. A lot of that will be also dual posted. I got a new channel called Aquaponic Nutrients. So if you are looking for just aquaponic info, please go check it out over there. That channel hopefully won't get any strikes or any stupid bullshit against it. There's no cannabis content on it, so at least the education part of that will live on, even when the eventual cannabis channel probably ends up dying. I know Dude Grows is getting close to the total strikes, so who knows what'll happen here with the can. It's either going to change or I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll find a new home, so it's not a big deal. Again, if you are looking, we have the Weed Tube, D-Tube, Weed TV. I've been posting them up on Twitch now. Apparently Twitch is pretty weed friendly as long as everyone's in a weed friendly state. And since everyone on the show is, we don't have to worry about that. And what else do we have? Just working on trying to get the show up in as many places as possible. The whole YouTube pissing me off kind of got me motivated to disseminate this as many places as I can. So that's been good for us. We've been averaging between 300 and 500 listens a day. Since I started doing that. So that's a big jump from where we were at with just the YouTube. We've over tripped. We were getting about 500 to 800 views a week on YouTube. And then now we're getting that, per day, or at least in 2 days. So you can find us now on Google Podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, all the different places for podcasts. So yeah, other than that, super stoked working on getting this class together with Josh, kind of the bleeding edge, super advanced aquaponics class, slash, people that get into ferments or compost teas or that kind of stuff. So even you soil gardeners will be a great event. So be sure to check it out. Again, it'll be July 16th through 20th at Half Moon Bay, and we will have the Eventbrite website up here soon. So, and again, it'll be intimate setting. You know, we'll have a dinner the one night and stuff. It'll be really cool. So you definitely won't want to miss it. And then again, there's also a really neat place nearby, a cool restaurant that has a smoking area that we can all have all kinds of fun at as well. So, and then like I said, we have another event that I can't speak about yet because we have to finalize it. But I think there might be another really big cannabis-related event the weekend after the show. So be sure to keep that Saturday. If you're coming to town, you're going to want to stay for the weekend. I'll tell you that. So. Alrighty, I think that's it. I'll be sure to check out aquaponic nutrients. I have a video every day. There's some regurgitated stuff from the Potent Ponics channel, and then as well as new content as well. I am again working on the video series for nutrients and stuff like that. I got some stuff recorded, some stuff I need to add picture. You know, I'm trying to, at least for those, have some added visuals on it, so it's not totally just me talking, so you guys will listen to it. Also, I'm going to record some of that at the farm as well, so that'll be fun. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to email me at potentponics@gmail.com. If you're listening to the audio version of this, we do have a video version available on YouTube. If you're listening to the YouTube version, we do have audio available if you can't listen to it on audio or video or whatever the fuck. Sorry, I'm tired. It's been a long week. My brain is fried. I'm sick of looking at screens. So I think we'll end the show a little bit early, but we'll have lots of cool stuff. Again, check my YouTube channel. Oh, I know the other thing I want to talk about was the pumpkin, working on an aquaponic pumpkin. I have 2 giant aquaponic pumpkin seeds that both came from a pumpkin over 2,000 pounds. So we are going to transplant those into about 30-gallon trash cans. We're going to convert into big dual root zone pots and see how that goes. So we're going to see how big. We have a giant watermelon too. I think we're going to throw in and see just how big of a fruit you can grow in aquaponics. And not only that, it'll be the same system that we're growing, you know, a ton of lettuce and thousands of heads of lettuce. So, you know, when someone tells you, oh, you can't do one or the other, or, oh yeah, DWC works for everything and it's just as good. Well, we're going to show you, you know, mathematically that that's not true. That you can actually do them both in one system and amend one heavily and still produce something that is ludicrously large, you know, without having to do decoupled or do any of these, you know, silly one-off, in my opinion, dead-end designs. You know, they have some advantages, but there's no it's added. Well, it's just because people don't understand how to take care of the microbial work properly, and if you focus on that, then you can actually get incredible results, even with no amendments at all. Not no amendments, but you know, just main iron and pH. Even if you just do that with lettuce, and if you do the microbes right, you can get really close to not needing a whole lot else. Again, you always strip out micronutrients, molybdenum, and other things, especially with nitrogen-heavy plants. You're going to pull that down eventually. But yeah. Anyways, we're getting a little too technical, and I'm tired. So we'll wrap the show up. And again, I do apologize for the different channel. This will be immediately re-uploaded to Potent Ponics once this is done. This channel will not be hosting the video content for this. It's strictly for the live channel. So if you are listening to this, please go check out and subscribe to Potent Ponics YouTube channel. Also, Growing with Fishes podcast, which is the live channel podcast from now on. And then Aquaponic Nutrients, which is the just aquaponic vegetable and non-cannabis related content. And we'll see if YouTube decides to go after that channel. So, although there's nothing on there for that to be upset about. But anyways, again, we will be migrating here probably to Vimeo in the next 1 to 2 months for the live stream. But for the time being, this will work for functionality unless we win our appeal. So we'll see what happens. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
All right.